My beloved child, come close and listen. I am not far away. I am here, speaking into the very breath you take and the thoughts that stir within you. You have lived many years, carrying both joys and burdens, victories and regrets. You have gathered treasures, some that last and some that fade. But now, in this season of life, I call you to something deeper. I call you to prepare the soil of your spirit, for it is in your inner world that true joy, strength, and peace are found. Think for a moment about the ground outside your window. Soil cannot yield fruit if it is hard and neglected, if it is filled with stones or choked with weeds. It must be tended, softened, nourished, and prepared. So it is with your heart. If you allow worry, bitterness, or endless longing for what was or might have been to fill your soul, it will choke out the life I desire to grow within you. But if you soften your heart before me, if you let my word take root, you will find your spirit refreshed, bearing fruit even in your later years. I have given you my word, not as a distant book, but as living bread for your soul. Every time you open the pages of Scripture, every time you call to mind a verse you learned in younger years, you are feeding your spirit with life. Do not think that because your body has slowed, your spirit must slow also. No, my child, your spirit is eternal, vibrant, capable of flourishing even when your body feels weary. It is never too late to grow, to deepen, to draw near to me. I want you to remember this. What you feed will grow. If you feed your mind with endless worries, your worries will grow. If you feed your heart with resentment or old wounds, bitterness will take root and spread. But if you feed your spirit with my promises, if you whisper my words to yourself in the quiet of the morning, then faith, peace, and hope will grow strong within you. The soil of your spirit is not beyond repair. It can still be tilled, still be watered, still be renewed. Consider the quiet moments of your day. Do you sit and let your mind wander toward fears, regrets, or distractions? Or do you pause and let my word enter in? Even one verse, spoken slowly, can begin to change the atmosphere of your inner life. Say to yourself, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Let that truth settle into you like rain on thirsty ground. Or whisper, "Be still and know that I am God." In that stillness, your spirit softens and roots begin to spread. Do not despise small beginnings. A garden does not flourish overnight. A heart does not become fruitful in an instant. It is the daily tending, the quiet choices, the faithful return to my presence that prepares the soil of your spirit. Perhaps you feel you should have done more with your life, spent more time in prayer, memorized more scripture. But I tell you now, do not waste energy on regret. Today is enough. Begin now. Even a few minutes with me each day will bring a harvest that will surprise you. I know your body may ache, your memory may sometimes falter, your strength may not be what it once was, but I am not asking you to do more than you can. I am asking you to rest in me, to let my word be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. Do not measure yourself by what others do. Simply open your heart to me, and I will do the work within you. For I am the gardener of your soul. You need only to make room for me. When you forgive, you loosen the soil of your heart. When you give thanks, you water the ground with life. When you meditate on my word, you plant seeds that will grow into unshakable peace. And when you trust me with your worries, you remove the weeds that would otherwise choke your joy. These are the tools I place in your hands. Use them faithfully, and you will find your spirit rich and fertile, even in the later years of your journey. Do not think of this time as the end. Think of it as a season of ripening. The fruit that has been growing in you, sometimes hidden, sometimes delayed, is now ready to be revealed. I want your patience, your wisdom, your quiet faith to bless those around you. Even when you feel unnoticed, even when life grows still, your life in me is never wasted. The roots that go deep into my word will sustain you in every storm and leave a legacy for generations to come. So, I say to you again, prepare the soil of your spirit. Open the pages of my word. Speak my promises aloud. Forgive those who have wounded you. Release the burdens you were never meant to carry. Let gratitude flow from your lips like fresh water. These are not small acts. They are the holy work of preparing a soul to shine with eternal light. And remember, my beloved, I am with you. I am the gardener who tends your heart with patience and love. I know the seasons of your life. I know the winters you endured and the springs that surprised you with beauty. I am not finished with you yet. Even now, in this very moment, I am planting seeds that will bear fruit you cannot yet see. My beloved child, hear me now. The body you live in is not an afterthought, nor a mistake, nor merely a vessel to be discarded. It is my temple, crafted with care, chosen as the dwelling place of your soul and my spirit. From the day of your birth until the moment you take your last breath, this body has carried you through every joy and sorrow. It has labored, laughed, wept, and endured. And though it may now feel slower, weaker, or burdened with age, it remains holy in my sight. Guarding your body is not vanity. It is worship. It is stewardship of the life I have entrusted to you. For what you do with your strength, your rest, your food, and your care speaks of how you honor the gift I placed in your hands. Do not despise your body for its frailty, nor demand of it what it can no longer give. Instead, treat it as a sacred vessel, one that deserves gentleness, respect, and gratitude. You may look back and see years when you did not care for your health as you should have. Perhaps you worked too hard, carried too much, or ignored the warnings your body whispered to you. Perhaps you chased busyness and called it duty, while neglecting the rest that would have restored you. But I do not call you to live in regret. I call you to begin now, in this very season. For even small acts of care, a walk in the sunlight, a moment of deep breath, a meal chosen with wisdom, can honor me and strengthen you for the days ahead. Do you see how the world often teaches you to drive yourself without pause, to push, to strive, to prove? Yet I have not asked you to wear yourself thin with endless labor. I created the Sabbath, the rhythm of work and rest, because your body was never meant to endure constant strain. Rest is not laziness, it is obedience, it is trust. When you rest, you declare that I am the one who sustains the world, not you. When you rest, you give your body and mind the healing they were designed to receive. I know that aging brings with it challenges you did not once face. Pain may linger longer, sleep may be lighter, tasks that were once simple may now take more energy. But do not see these changes as punishments or losses alone. They are invitations to slow down, to live more intentionally, to listen to your body's wisdom, and to lean on me in ways you once thought unnecessary. Where you see weakness, I see opportunities for grace, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Guarding the temple also means caring for your health in practical ways. Do not despise doctors or medicine. I have given wisdom to those who study the body, and their knowledge can be a blessing. Do not resist movement because it feels small compared to what you once could do. A gentle stretch, a slow walk, or lifting your arms in gratitude can bring life to your body and joy to your spirit. Feed yourself not only with my word, but with foods that sustain and nourish. Drink water as if you were refreshing my temple. Care for your body not because it will last forever, but because it serves my purposes while you walk this earth. And remember this, caring for yourself is not selfish. It blesses those around you. When you tend to your health, you give your loved ones the gift of your presence for as long as I allow. You model to children and grandchildren what it means to treat life as sacred. You show them that honoring me includes honoring the vessel I created. And when you rest, when you refuse to be consumed by stress or endless demands, you remind others that their worth is not found in productivity, but in being mine. Guarding the temple also means guarding what enters your mind and heart. Just as unhealthy food can weaken the body, unhealthy thoughts can burden the soul. Fear, worry, resentment, and constant comparison are poisons that drain your spirit. But gratitude, forgiveness, and my promises are nourishment that restore you. Be intentional about what you consume, not only at your table, but also through your eyes, your ears, and your thoughts. Fill yourself with what is pure, lovely, and eternal, and you will find new strength rising within you. Do not fear the changes of age. Do not despise the slowing of your steps or the lines upon your face. These are signs of a life lived, of experiences gathered, of wisdom earned. They are not failures, they are testimonies. Your body may not be what it once was, but it remains a sacred space in which I dwell. Do not compare yourself to what others can do or to what you once achieved. Instead, ask, how can I honor God with the body I have today? The answer will always lead you into peace. When your body aches, come to me for comfort. When your energy wanes, lean into my strength. When you feel limited, remember that your worth is not measured by what you accomplish, but by who you are in me. Even in rest, even in weakness, you glorify me when you surrender yourself into my care. So, my beloved, guard the temple. Tend it with gentleness. Feed it with wisdom. Rest it with trust. Move it with gratitude. Protect it from poisons of body and soul. And above all, offer it back to me as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing. For this body, fragile, imperfect, and temporary, has carried the eternal treasure of my spirit. Honor it, and you honor me. I am with you in every breath you take, in every step you manage, in every moment of stillness. I am not ashamed of your weakness, nor surprised by your frailty. I delight in your faith, in your trust, in your willingness to care for what I have given. Guard the temple, my child, for it is my dwelling place, and through it I continue to show my glory in your life. My beloved child, hear my heart for you in this season of life. Do not neglect the gift of family, for though families are often complicated and imperfect, they are also sacred threads woven by my hand. They are the people I entrusted to your care and companionship, whether by birth, by marriage, or by the bonds of love that go beyond blood. You may look upon your family with joy, or with sorrow, or with a mixture of both, but I call you now to hold them close, to heal what can be healed, and to bless them with the wisdom of your years. You know well that family life is rarely simple. There may be wounds left unspoken, words spoken in haste, or choices that caused distance. You may carry regrets for the times you were absent, harsh, or silent when you should have spoken. Others may have hurt you in ways that still sting, but hear me clearly. It is not too late to bring peace. Reconciliation does not always mean everything returns to what it once was, but it does mean choosing forgiveness, releasing bitterness, and extending grace as I have extended grace to you. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength. When you forgive, you free your heart from the heavy chains of resentment. You open space for love to flow again. Do not wait for apologies that may never come. Do not wait for perfect timing or perfect words. Begin by releasing the burden into my hands. Say, Lord, I forgive, even if it still hurts. I will honor that choice, and I will soften hearts in ways you cannot imagine. Perhaps reconciliation will come fully, or perhaps it will remain incomplete. But even then, forgiveness will set you free. I also call you to tell your stories. The years you have lived are not accidents. They are testimonies of my faithfulness. Do not think your stories are too small, too ordinary, or too forgotten. Share them with your children, your grandchildren, your friends, and your community. Tell them of the struggles you faced and how I carried you. Tell them of prayers answered and prayers delayed. Tell them of mistakes and lessons learned, of laughter that healed wounds, of kindnesses that changed everything. In your stories, others will find courage for their own journeys. Think of the legacy you are leaving. It is not measured in possessions, money, or achievements, but in the faith, wisdom, and love you pass on. A simple note written to a grandchild, a memory spoken over a meal, a blessing whispered in prayer. These are treasures that will outlast anything stored in boxes or bank accounts. Do not underestimate the power of your words. When you speak blessing, you plant seeds in hearts that will grow long after you are gone. Bless your family by affirming them. Tell them what you see in them that reflects my image. Remind them of their worth. Pray aloud over them if you can. Even if they are far away, even if they do not share your faith, your prayers rise before me like incense, carrying my power and presence into their lives. Do not let silence rob your family of the encouragement only you can give. And if your family is fractured, if relationships are broken beyond what you can mend, still bless. You can bless from afar. You can bless in prayer. You can bless by choosing peace in your own spirit instead of bitterness. You can release them into my care, trusting that I will continue the work long after your part is done. Blessing is never wasted. There are also those who feel alone, who have no family nearby, or perhaps no family at all. Hear me. You are not forgotten. I place you in a larger family, the family of faith, the community of those who love me. Seek them out, for they need your wisdom as much as you need their companionship. Share your stories with neighbors, with church members, with friends who become like sons and daughters. You are still called to give, still called to bless, still called to love. My child, you may wonder if you have failed in your family, if your mistakes have caused harm that cannot be undone. But I tell you, I am greater than your failures. I can redeem what is broken. I can bring healing where there was only pain. I can write new chapters in your family's story even now. Do not despair. Do not give up hope. Trust me to work beyond what you see. So hold your family close, not just in physical presence, but in your heart, your prayers, your blessings. Speak words of life, even if your voice trembles. Write letters, record memories, pass down your faith. Be intentional, for the days are precious, and each conversation is an opportunity to leave behind love that will endure. And when the time comes for you to step into eternity, let it be said of you that you left blessings behind, not curses, not silence, but blessings that echo through generations. Let your family remember you as one who pointed them toward me, one who loved them even in their flaws, one who sowed peace instead of division. For this is my heart for you, that in your final years you become a vessel of reconciliation, a keeper of stories, a giver of blessings. Hold your family close, and in doing so, you will hold me close as well. For when you love them, you love me. My beloved child, do not delay. Begin today. Make the call, write the note, speak the blessing, offer the forgiveness. Let love be the legacy you leave. My beloved child, listen carefully. You do not have endless days upon this earth. Each sunrise is a gift, each breath a reminder that your time is precious. Yet, how often have you postponed what matters most, telling yourself there will be another chance, another tomorrow, another season? But tomorrow is not promised. Now is the moment I have given you, and I call you to live fully in it, to love, to forgive, to rejoice, to draw near to me without delay. The greatest danger of the human heart is the illusion of time. You imagine that you can always do it later. Mend the broken relationship, take care of your health, pray with greater faith, speak the words of love you've been holding back. But later slips away quietly, and the opportunity vanishes. Do not wait, my child. What I am placing on your heart today is meant to be acted upon today. Look back over your years. Are there things you wish you had done differently, words you wish you had spoken sooner, deeds you wish you had not delayed? You cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can shape today. And when you choose to act now, you open the door for me to redeem what you thought was lost. For I am not bound by time. I can bring healing and restoration through even the smallest step of obedience in this moment. Do not underestimate the power of simple actions. A phone call to a distant loved one, a note of encouragement, a whispered prayer for someone in need. These may feel small, but they carry eternal weight. A seed planted today can bear fruit that outlives you. A word of forgiveness spoken today can break chains that have bound generations. A blessing given today can ripple into the future in ways you cannot yet see. Do not tell yourself you are too old, too weary, or too limited to make a difference. Age is no barrier to my spirit. Did I not use Abraham in his old age? Did I not fill Simeon and Anna with joy when they saw the child Jesus in the temple, though their years were many? Did I not give strength to Moses even as his hair grew white? I delight in showing my glory through those the world calls finished. You are not finished. If you are still breathing, I still have work for you to do. Now is also the time to draw close to me in your spirit. You may feel tempted to drift, to settle, to assume that faith is behind you instead of ahead. But I tell you, faith is a living flame, and it can burn brighter in these years than ever before. Take the time you have now to sit in my presence, to read my word with fresh eyes, to pray not only for yourself, but for others. Let your prayers be your legacy. They will rise before me long after your voice is silent on the earth. Do not put off joy, my child. Too many wait for a perfect circumstance to be happy. They say, when I feel better, when the family is reconciled, when the burdens are lifted, then I will rejoice. But joy is not something you wait for. It is something you choose. Even in hardship, even in pain, even in loneliness, joy is possible because I am with you. Today, you can choose to be grateful. Today, you can smile, laugh, sing, or give thanks. Do not postpone the celebration of life. Let your heart rejoice now, and you will find that joy itself strengthens you. Living in the now also means making peace. Do not wait until your final days to reconcile with me or with others. If there is sin you have carried, confess it now, and I will cleanse you. If there are words of love you have withheld, speak them now, and they will bless more than you realize. If there are wounds left untended, forgive now, and freedom will flood your spirit. Peace is not found in delay, it is found in surrender today. Some of you fear death, and that fear keeps you from living in the present. But hear me, death is not the end. It is a doorway into my eternal presence. You need not fear what is ahead, for I have gone before you and prepared a place for you. But until that day, I want you to live fully, to love deeply, and to walk faithfully. Do not waste the days left to you by looking only toward the end. Live them as if the promise of eternity is already alive within you, because it is. So I say to you, now is the time. Now is the day to bless your children and grandchildren. Now is the day to speak words of faith. Now is the day to rejoice in the life you still have. Now is the day to prepare your spirit, not in fear, but in trust. You do not need to wait for tomorrow to live in the fullness of my promises. My beloved, I am with you now, not just yesterday when you first believed, not just tomorrow when you enter my eternal presence, but now, in this very breath. Every moment is sacred when you walk with me. Let this truth settle into your heart. You have all you need for today because you have me. Live as if my promise is present, because it is. Eternity has already begun in you. So rise each day with courage, speak each word with love, and finish your journey with the peace of knowing you did not waste the gift of now. My beloved child, I have walked beside you through every season of your life, through the sunlight of joy and through the shadows of sorrow. I know the secret pains you have carried, the wounds that cut deeper than words could ever describe. Some of those wounds came from the loss of loved ones, some from betrayal, some from illness, and others from the slow weariness of time itself. I saw the nights when you wept silently, when you felt unseen and unheard, when you wondered if anyone, even I, truly understood the heaviness in your heart. I tell you now, I have always understood. I have always known. Not a single tear has fallen from your eyes that I did not treasure. Not a single sigh has risen from your chest that I did not hear. And not a single wound has touched your life without my presence being near. The wounds you carry are not signs of my absence, but reminders of my nearness. For when life pressed you down, I pressed myself even closer to you. And though you sometimes thought you were alone, in truth, I was holding you together when you felt you were falling apart. But hear me carefully, beloved one. These wounds were never meant to make you bitter, nor to turn your heart into stone. They were not meant to define you by sorrow or chain you in despair. No, they were given permission only to shape you, to draw forth compassion, wisdom, and a tenderness that could not be formed in any other way. Think back over your life. Can you not see how the hardest moments became the deepest lessons? When others abandoned you, did you not learn the sweetness of my faithfulness? When strength failed you, did you not discover the power of leaning on me? When sorrow pierced you, did you not begin to recognize the sacredness of other people's tears? Your wounds, though painful, have softened the soil of your heart. They have carved out room for mercy, room for gentleness, room for understanding. For how could you comfort another unless you yourself had known sorrow? How could you lift the broken unless you yourself had been broken and healed by my hand? Do not despise your scars, my child. They are not marks of shame, but marks of survival. They are proof that the enemy tried to destroy you and failed. Every scar on your soul tells a story, not of defeat, but of my faithfulness to carry you through. When you look at those scars, do not say, "This is where I was ruined." Say instead, "This is where God rescued me. This is where He kept me alive. This is where He met me in the ashes and turned me toward hope again." I know there were times you asked me why. Why did this loss come? Why was this prayer not answered in the way you longed? Why did suffering find you when you were only seeking peace? These questions are not sins. They are the cries of a heart that longs to understand. And though I do not always reveal every answer in this life, I do reveal myself. I am the God who holds your questions without condemnation. I am the God who welcomes your doubts, your wrestlings, your laments. For I know that in bringing them to me, you are still turning toward me, and that is faith. Beloved, your wounds are not the end of your story. They are not the final word spoken over your life. I am the first and the last, the beginning and the end. The story I am writing for you is not one of defeat, but of redemption. Every wound surrendered into my hands becomes a place where my glory shines brighter. Every pain you release to me becomes a testimony that I am greater than the brokenness of this world. Do not let your heart grow numb. Do not harden yourself to avoid the ache of life. For in trying to protect yourself, you would shut out the very compassion I am birthing within you. Instead, remain tender. Yes, it will mean that you still feel sorrow, that you still ache with the world's pain. But it will also mean that you carry my heart, my love, my mercy. When others see your calm smile even after storms, they will wonder how you endured. And you will be able to say, "It was not by my strength, but by the Lord who never left me." When others feel too ashamed to speak their pain, they will see in your eyes an understanding that invites them to share, and you will offer them the healing embrace of compassion. The wounds that shaped you were not wasted. They were the tools I used to carve into you a likeness of my Son, who also carried wounds, not only for himself, but for the salvation of the world. He bore scars, and those scars became the doorway to resurrection. So too your scars can become a doorway to new life, not only for you, but for those who will be touched by your witness. I am not finished with you, my beloved. Even now, as you look back on your years, I am still shaping you. Your later days are not lesser days. They are the ripened harvest of all you have endured, all you have learned, all you have overcome with me. And the fruit of these years will be sweeter than you imagine. So hold your head high, not in pride, but in quiet confidence. You have walked through valleys and still you stand. You have known sorrow, yet your heart still beats with hope. That hope is not your own. It is mine, planted within you, growing still. My beloved child, you have carried heavy burdens, and I have seen the way pain has visited your life again and again. Yet within every sorrow, I was planting something eternal. Do you know what that seed is? It is compassion. Out of the soil of your suffering, I have grown a tenderness that reaches beyond your own wounds. I have been shaping your heart so that when you look upon another who is hurting, you see them with my eyes. This world teaches that pain must make a person bitter, defensive, or withdrawn. But I teach you differently. I urge you not to close your heart when it aches, not to turn away when you feel the sting of betrayal, not to harden yourself just to survive. For if you allow pain to make you numb, it will rob you of one of the greatest treasures I have for you, the ability to enter into the sorrow of another with mercy and love. Do you remember the time someone extended kindness to you when you were at your lowest? Perhaps it was a gentle word when you expected silence, or a listening ear when you thought no one cared. Perhaps it was a prayer whispered on your behalf, or a hand that helped steady you when you were weak. Those small mercies left an imprint on your heart. They carried you through when little else could. I want you to see that the compassion you received is the same compassion I now call you to give. Your pain has not been wasted. It has softened the sharp edges of your soul so that you can hold others more carefully. It has opened your ears to hear the unspoken cries of those around you. It has deepened your eyes so that you notice suffering others overlook. Where once you might have judged, now you understand. Where once you might have rushed past, now you pause. This is the fruit I have been growing in you, not a bitter fruit of anger, but a sweet fruit of compassion. You may think that compassion is a small thing, but in my kingdom it is among the greatest treasures. For compassion is the language of my heart. It is the way I looked upon the hungry crowds and fed them. It is the way I touched the leper who had been cast aside. It is the way I wept at the tomb of my friend, even knowing resurrection was moments away. Compassion is the essence of my love poured into action, and when you show compassion, you reveal my heart to the world. Beloved, I know that in your later years, you sometimes feel less useful, as though the strength of your body has faded and your place in the world has grown smaller. But hear me clearly, your compassion has never been more valuable than it is right now. You carry a wisdom that only comes through endurance, a tenderness that only comes through years of walking with me through both joy and sorrow. The younger ones need what you carry. The hurting need what you can offer. The lonely need the warmth of your presence. You may not have all the energy you once had, but you still have words that can lift a weary soul. You still have prayers that can open the windows of heaven. You still have eyes that notice when someone is struggling, and you still have a heart that beats with mercy because of all you have endured. Do not underestimate the power of your compassion. To the world, it may look small, but in my sight, it is a fragrance that rises like incense, pleasing and holy. I urge you, resist the temptation of bitterness. Bitterness whispers that you have suffered too much, that others do not deserve your kindness, that closing your heart is safer. But bitterness is a thief. It robs joy, isolates the soul, and blinds you to my blessings. Compassion, on the other hand, opens the floodgates of life. It restores joy in the smallest of moments. It connects your heart to mine in a living stream of love. I want you to see that compassion is not weakness. It is strength. Strength of spirit that outlasts the frailty of flesh. Anyone can be hardened by pain, but only those who walk with me can let pain be transformed into love. This is your calling, to be a vessel of my compassion in the world, and every wound you have endured has prepared you for this holy work. So when you encounter the weary, let your words carry hope. When you see the lonely, let your presence be a balm. When you notice someone's silent tears, let your understanding speak louder than judgment. And when you pray for those who suffer, know that I move powerfully through your intercession. Every act of compassion, whether large or small, becomes a seed of eternal life. My child, the fruit of your pain is not despair. It is compassion that mirrors my heart. And this fruit does not wither with age. It grows sweeter, richer, and more nourishing as your years increase. The world may count what you have lost, but I count what you have gained, a heart that reflects my own. My beloved child, you have lived many years, and within those years are stories both beautiful and sorrowful. You carry memories of victories and failures, of laughter that rang like music and tears that fell in silence. You remember the joy of love gained and the ache of love lost. All these moments are part of your journey, but I tell you now, they were never meant to hold you captive. Too often, my children chain themselves to their yesterdays. They replay regrets again and again, punishing themselves for choices they cannot undo. They cling to wounds inflicted long ago, as though touching them repeatedly might somehow explain why they happened. Some grow bitter, others fearful, and many live with a heaviness that keeps them from stepping into the life I offer today. But hear me clearly, the past is a teacher, not a prison. When you look at your past through my eyes, you will see wisdom, not condemnation. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every sorrow becomes a reminder of my sustaining love. Every season of waiting becomes evidence that my timing is perfect. I never intended for you to drag chains of regret behind you. I intended for you to gather treasures of understanding and to walk forward free. Think of a classroom. You sit, you learn, you take in what is needed, but you do not stay in that room forever. You move on to live what you have learned. So it is with your past. It was a place of instruction, not your permanent dwelling. If you live in the classroom forever, you miss the life outside its doors. If you live in the past, you miss the beauty of the present I have prepared for you. My beloved, I know there are memories that still sting. There are words you wish you had never spoken, choices you wish you had made differently, opportunities you feel you wasted. There are also losses you still mourn and dreams that never came to be. I know how these memories rise up, especially in quiet moments. But I remind you, I am the God who redeems. I waste nothing, not even your regrets. If you will surrender them to me, I will weave them into something greater. Do you not see that your failures humbled you, and in that humility you found grace? Do you not see that your losses softened you, and in that softness you found compassion? Do you not see that the unanswered prayers turned you toward me in ways answered prayers never could? The past is not your enemy. It is the soil from which I have grown the person you are today. But beware, the enemy loves to use the past as a snare. He whispers that you are defined by what you once did, or by what others once did to you. He tells you that you are too broken, too late, too far gone to live freely now. These are lies, for I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and no part of your past has the power to override my purpose for you. When my Son went to the cross, he carried not only your sins, but also your shame. He bore the weight of every regret, every failure, every missed moment. He nailed them to the cross so they would never again be chains around your neck. If you cling to them, you are holding on to what I have already set you free from. My desire is not that you walk in circles around the ruins of yesterday, but that you walk forward into the promise of today. Beloved, you cannot change what is behind you, but you can choose what it becomes within you. You can choose to let it harden you, or to let it teach you. You can choose to dwell in sorrow, or to gather wisdom and walk in peace. Every day you live, you have this choice: to look backward with despair, or to look forward with hope. I do not call you to erase your past. I call you to see it through the lens of my grace. The past will always be part of your story, but it is not the whole story. It is only the opening chapters of a book that I am still writing. And what lies ahead is filled with my goodness, my mercy, and my joy. Do not say to yourself, "It is too late," for with me, there is no too late. Moses was 80 when I called him to lead my people. Abraham and Sarah were beyond their years when I fulfilled my promise of a son. Anna, the prophetess, was in her later years when she proclaimed my son in the temple. I do not measure usefulness by age or by past mistakes. I measure it by the willingness of your heart to trust me now. So let the past take its rightful place, not as a prison that confines you, but as a teacher that has prepared you. Let it be a well of wisdom from which you can draw to guide others. Let it be a collection of testimonies that remind you of my faithfulness, and let it be fuel for gratitude, for even in the hardest seasons I carried you through. You are not defined by what you lost, but by the one who never left you. You are not confined by what you regret, but freed by what I have forgiven. You are not chained to the years behind you, but invited into the joy of the years ahead. My child, lift your eyes from the shadows of yesterday and turn them toward the light of today. The past has done its work. It has taught you. Now release it and walk with me into the life still unfolding. You are not a prisoner of regret. You are a student of grace. And the lessons you carry will shine like a lamp for all who walk beside you. My beloved child, I have walked with you through the valleys of sorrow and the peaks of gladness. I have seen the shadows of regret that tried to cling to you, and I have seen the tears that watered the soil of your heart. Yet I tell you now, I am not finished with you. The days ahead, though fewer in number than those behind, are still full of purpose. And within them I have prepared a joy that cannot be stolen, a joy that is not measured by what you have lost, but by the greatness of what is coming. You may think to yourself, but my strength has faded, and my body no longer moves as it once did. What joy remains for me? Hear me clearly. Joy does not depend on youth, nor on health, nor on earthly abundance. True joy flows from my spirit, and my spirit within you is as strong now as ever. Joy is not the same as fleeting happiness. It is deeper, rooted in eternity. It is a fountain that does not run dry, even when circumstances shift and the seasons of life change. Look around you, beloved. Do you see the small gifts I scatter daily at your feet? The warmth of morning light spilling through your window, the song of a bird announcing the dawn, the kindness in the smile of one who greets you. These are tokens of my love. Joy begins not in grand events, but in recognizing the simple graces that surround you. Gratitude is the key that unlocks this joy. When you give thanks for even the smallest blessing, your heart opens wide to receive more. I know the world often tempts you to measure life by what has slipped away. The strength of youth, the loved ones who have gone before you, the opportunities you feel have passed. But I do not measure your life by what is gone. I measure it by what is still alive within you. And I see gratitude waiting to blossom, even now, into a joy brighter than any you have known. Remember, my child, every breath you take is a gift. Every sunrise is a promise renewed. Every act of love you give or receive is a foretaste of eternity. Do not overlook these simple treasures. For while the world chases after more, I teach you that contentment in the little opens the door to abundance in the spirit. Gratitude is not only the language of the heart, it is also the shield of the soul. When fear whispers of tomorrow, gratitude grounds you in today. When bitterness tries to remind you of what is lost, gratitude lifts your eyes to what is present. When loneliness creeps in, gratitude recalls that I am always with you. In thanksgiving, your spirit becomes strong, and in that strength, joy rises like the morning sun. Beloved, do not think that your days ahead are only for waiting until the end. No, these are precious days, days still meant to be lived in fullness. Each one is an opportunity to sow kindness, to speak wisdom, to leave behind a fragrance of grace that will linger long after you step into eternity. Your joy is not only for yourself, it is a testimony to others. When they see peace shining from you in spite of age, in spite of weakness, in spite of trials, they will glimpse my kingdom. I want you to understand that joy and gratitude are not fleeting emotions, but choices you can make each day. When you awaken, you may choose to say, "Thank you, Lord, for this breath, for this day, for this chance to love." When your body aches, you may still choose to thank me for the gift of life and the hope of resurrection. When memories of sorrow come, you may choose to thank me for carrying you through and for the promise of reunion with those you miss. In every circumstance, gratitude will turn your eyes from the temporary to the eternal, and this is the joy I want you to hold on to. Not the joy of things that pass, but the joy of things that last forever. The joy of knowing that your name is written in my book of life. The joy of knowing that your years, however many or few, are held in my hands. The joy of knowing that soon you will see me face to face, and every tear will be wiped away, every sorrow healed, every wound made whole. But even before that day, I give you glimpses of heaven now. Every smile, every prayer, every shared moment of love is a window into eternity. And if you keep your heart open in gratitude, you will find joy in abundance, even here, even now. So do not look upon your later years as empty. They are rich with meaning, rich with purpose. They are a sacred season of harvest, where the seeds you have sown in faith, love, and endurance now bear fruit, and your gratitude for this harvest will multiply your joy. Walk with me, my child, into these days ahead. Do not drag the weight of yesterday, nor fear the shadows of tomorrow. Instead, let each moment be filled with thanks. Let your heart awaken to my goodness that surrounds you even now, and let your joy be a song, not only for yourself, but for all who hear it. For this is my promise to you. I will not leave you empty. I will not let your later years be barren. I will fill them with light, with peace, and with the kind of joy the world cannot take away. And when at last I call you home, you will step from the joy of earth into the fullness of everlasting joy. Until that day, live with gratitude. Drink deeply of the blessings I pour out daily, and know that every act of thanksgiving draws you nearer to me, the source of all joy. My beloved child, look around the rooms where you now dwell. Do you see the quiet corners, the familiar chairs, the photographs on the walls? These places may appear ordinary, yet I tell you this: they are sacred, for I have filled them with my presence. The walls that have witnessed your laughter and your tears, the table where you have eaten both simple meals and celebratory feasts, the doorway through which you have welcomed friends and family, all of these are touched by my glory. You may wonder, can it truly be so? Can my home, plain, worn, maybe quieter now than it once was, be filled with the presence of God? Yes, child. Not because of what is in the home, but because I am in it. My glory is not limited to grand temples or towering cathedrals. I walked in gardens, I visited tents, I filled upper rooms where small groups prayed. Even now, I fill the room you are sitting in, whether it is lively with company or hushed in solitude. Do not measure my presence by the noise of activity or the size of gatherings. I dwell where I am welcomed, where hearts look to me. Even when you do not feel strong enough to sing or speak my name aloud, my spirit rests on you. Every sigh you breathe in my direction is a prayer. Every glance of longing toward me is worship. I do not wait for perfect words, polished prayers, or endless energy. I draw near when you are simply honest with me. Child, I know the heaviness you sometimes feel. Days can stretch long. Nights can seem lonelier than they once did. You may remember seasons when the house rang with laughter, with children's footsteps, with voices rising around the table. And now, the quiet can press in. But listen closely. That quiet is not empty. It is full of me. I fill it with my spirit, my whisper, my promise. When you sit in your chair, I sit with you. When you lie down to rest, I cover you. When you wake in the stillness of dawn, I am already there, waiting to greet you. Have you noticed the sunlight streaming through your window? That light is a reminder of my glory. Have you heard the rustle of leaves outside, or the sound of rain tapping against your roof? That rhythm is my gentle reminder. I am here. I am near. Every ordinary sound and sight can become a doorway into my presence if you let your heart notice. I know that sometimes you wish your body had more strength, your mind more clarity, your voice more vigor. You may say, Lord, I cannot serve you as I once did. I cannot run. I cannot build. I cannot lead the way I once dreamed. But child, listen. My presence in your home is not dependent on your strength. I do not need your legs to carry me to others. I have already carried you. I do not need your hands to build me a temple. I have already made your heart my dwelling place. What I desire most is your nearness, your attention, your trust. Do not despise small beginnings, and do not despise small offerings. A whispered prayer, a smile given to someone who visits, a blessing spoken over a phone call. These are powerful acts in my kingdom. You may think them small, but in my eyes, they echo into eternity. And they all begin from the same source. Your awareness that I am here, in this very place with you. When you feel weary, when the day stretches long and heavy, pause, breathe, lift your heart to me, even if no words come. Simply say, you are here. In that moment, your home becomes a sanctuary, your chair a holy ground, your breath a prayer. Do not think that holiness belongs only in churches. Holiness follows my presence, and my presence follows you. Beloved, your home is more than shelter from the weather. It is more than walls and furniture. It is the stage where your story unfolds with me. Some chapters of your life within these walls have been joyous. Others may have carried sorrow. Perhaps you have had arguments here. Perhaps you have known loneliness here. Yet through every moment, I have never left. My spirit has walked every hallway, listened at every bedside, and stood at every doorway. Think back on the times you cried in secret. Did you not feel a quiet comfort, even then? That was me. Think of the nights you could not sleep and found yourself praying in whispers. Those words did not vanish into the ceiling. They rose to my throne. And think of the mornings when peace, sudden and soft, settled on you for no reason at all. That was my glory, brushing across your spirit. I fill your home not as a guest who comes and goes, but as the very foundation under your feet. My glory does not flicker in and out. It abides. It remains. The enemy may try to whisper that you are alone, that you are forgotten, that your prayers are too faint to matter. Do not believe him. He is a liar. You are mine, and your dwelling is mine. Wherever you live, a house, an apartment, a care home, even a single room, I will make it shine with my glory if you welcome me. So when you sit in your chair and your body aches, remember, you are not sitting alone. When you reach for the lamp at night, remember, my light has already filled the room. When you bow your head at the table, even over the simplest meal, know this, I am sitting with you. Child, take comfort. My presence is your inheritance. My glory is your covering. I am not a God far away. I am your God at hand. And I tell you this now, as long as breath is in your lungs, I will fill the place where you dwell with the weight of my love and the warmth of my spirit. My beloved child, hear me now. I have clothed you with honor. Not the honor that fades with titles, applause, or earthly achievements, but the honor that comes from my own hand. Even as you look back on your years with mixed feelings, joys and regrets, victories and missed chances, I say to you, you are still mine, and I have placed a robe of dignity upon you that no hand can strip away. I know how the passing years can whisper lies to your soul. The world may tell you that your worth is measured by productivity, by speed, by the strength of your body. You may see the younger move quickly while you feel slowed by time. You may notice that some do not listen as carefully to your words, or they pass by without seeing the treasure you carry inside. And in quiet moments, you may wonder, do I still matter? Am I still needed? Have I been left behind? Listen to me, child. Those thoughts do not come from me. I am the one who created you in my image. I am the one who watched you in your mother's womb and declared, this life is precious. Do you think my declaration has changed with age? Never. From the first cry of your birth to the breath you draw this very moment, my voice has remained steady. You are honored. You are beloved. You are mine. The dignity I give you is not tied to what you can do. It is tied to who I am and to who you are in me. Others may overlook, but I never overlook. Others may forget, but I never forget. Others may see wrinkles, weakness, or frailty, but I see the crown of wisdom upon your head. I see the courage it took to keep walking when the road was long. I see the faith that has grown even through trials. I see the scars that tell stories of survival, forgiveness, and perseverance. Child, every gray hair upon your head is precious to me. They are not marks of decline, but marks of honor. In your later years, when the body slows, I give you a new role, to shine with wisdom, patience, and gentleness that only a lifetime can form. Do not compare yourself to the speed of youth, for your value now is not in haste, but in depth. You carry perspective that others cannot yet grasp. You are a living witness of my faithfulness through many seasons. Perhaps you carry regrets, words not spoken, choices made in haste, opportunities missed. Perhaps you replay memories and wish you could go back and do differently. But hear me, your dignity is not erased by your mistakes. I clothe you in honor that covers shame. When you turned to me, I washed you. When you confessed, I forgave you. When you stumbled, I lifted you. The past does not define you. My grace does, and my grace declares you redeemed. Honor is not about medals on the wall or names in lights. True honor is found in love given, prayers whispered, sacrifices made in secret. Think of the times you comforted someone in sorrow, or the meals you prepared in love, or the hours you spent listening when another needed to talk. You may call these small things, but in my kingdom they are great. These are the deeds that shine brighter than any earthly accolade, for they were done with a heart turned toward me. Child, I tell you this, I will restore dignity where you feel it has been stripped away. If you have felt ignored, I remind you that my eyes are always on you. If you have felt forgotten, I remind you that your name is engraved on my hands. If you have felt diminished, I remind you that I lift you up and call you my treasured possession. Do not let shame linger over you. Do not let the enemy whisper that your time has passed, that you are no longer useful, that your voice no longer matters. Those are lies. Your prayers carry weight. Your presence brings comfort. Your story bears witness. You are not finished, for I am still at work in you. Even now, in these years, I am shaping your influence. Even now, your words of blessing ripple through generations. Even now, your faith speaks louder than you know. Beloved, think of yourself not as discarded fabric, but as a garment I have chosen, woven with care, adorned with beauty. I cover you with my righteousness, and that covering gives you honor greater than any title on earth. When others look at you with my eyes, they will see not weakness, but glory. For my glory rests on you, even when you feel fragile. So lift your head, walk in dignity, not because the world applauds you, but because I delight in you. Let peace clothe your spirit. Let gratitude be your adornment. Let kindness and gentleness be the jewels you wear. These are not signs of weakness, but of strength. Strength that comes from walking long with me. And remember this, the honor I give is eternal. One day, when your journey here is complete, I will welcome you with a robe of glory, brighter than the sun. I will place a crown on your head and call you faithful. The honor I give now in your spirit will be revealed in fullness in my kingdom. There, no voice will diminish you, no shadow of regret will remain, no sorrow will linger. You will be seen as I have always seen you, radiant, redeemed, honored forever. Child, you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not diminished. You are mine, clothed in honor from the beginning, clothed in honor now, and clothed in honor for eternity. Let that truth sink deep into your spirit. Stand tall, even in your chair. Smile, even through your tears. Rest, even in your weariness. For I, the Lord your God, cover you with dignity that cannot fade. My beloved child, I see the weight you carry. I know that sometimes prayer feels harder now than it once did. The words may not come easily. The mind may wander. The body may ache. You may sit quietly and feel only silence around you. But I tell you this, do not let weariness silence your soul. Your prayers do not need to be polished. They do not need to be long. They do not need to sound like anyone else's. I do not measure prayer by eloquence. I measure it by honesty. When your spirit feels tired, do not force yourself to perform for me. Instead, come as you are. Whisper what is really in your heart. If you feel lonely, tell me. If you are angry, tell me. If you are afraid of what tomorrow holds, tell me. If you still carry hidden desires, hopes you dare not speak aloud, bring them to me. Do not think I will be shocked, for I already know every thought before it reaches your lips. But when you speak it out, when you lay it in my hands, your heart finds rest. Child, prayer is not a test you must pass. It is not a duty to be checked off. It is a conversation with me, your Father, your friend, your Lord. Think of how you speak with someone you trust deeply. You do not carefully polish every sentence. You simply open your heart. That is what I ask of you. Let your prayers be real, raw, unpolished, for those are the prayers that reach my heart most quickly. There were times in your life when your prayers were strong and full of energy. You prayed for your children, your spouse, your work, your future. You prayed in moments of crisis with tears that flowed like rivers. You prayed in moments of joy with songs that rose like fire. But now your prayers may feel quieter, smaller, softer. Do not think they are weaker. Even a sigh breathed toward me carries more power than you realize. Even a single whispered, "Help me," shakes the heavens. Do not be discouraged if you cannot remember long passages of Scripture or if your mind struggles to stay focused. I am not grading you. I am not disappointed in you. I treasure every word, every thought, every sigh that you turn toward me. If you can only whisper my name, that is enough. If you can only sit in silence and think of me, that is prayer. If all you can do is lift your hands for a moment and then rest them again, I see it, and I am moved. Child, Pour out your heart like water before me. Do not hold back your sorrows. Tell me about the aches in your body, the memories that still sting, the relationships that did not heal as you hoped. Tell me about the friends you miss, the loved ones you have said goodbye to, the fear of being left alone. Bring these to me, not because I do not know them, but because I long to carry them for you. When you hold them inside, they weigh you down. When you hand them to me, I give you peace in exchange. And do not be afraid to tell me your joys as well. Tell me about the grandchild who makes you laugh. Tell me about the flower you noticed blooming outside your window. Tell me about the kindness of a neighbor, the taste of a good meal, the comfort of a warm blanket. Nothing is too small to share with me, for every joy you notice is a gift from my hand. When you thank me for it, you strengthen your spirit and awaken your heart to see even more blessings around you. Some of my children hesitate to pray because they think their prayers must sound holy. But child, true holiness is honesty. If you are weary, say you are weary. If you are confused, say you are confused. If you are full of gratitude, sing it out, even if your voice shakes. I do not need perfection from you. I need truth, and I will meet you in that truth. There will be times when words fail you altogether. In those moments, sit with me in silence. Let the quiet itself be your offering. My spirit prays within you with groans too deep for words. I understand what you cannot say. I interpret what you cannot express. Silence before me is not emptiness. It is communion. Do not underestimate the power of your prayer, even when it feels small. Your whispered prayers for your family have built walls of protection around them. Your prayers for the sick have reached into hospital rooms. Your prayers for your country have risen like incense before my throne. You may never see the full fruit of your prayers on this earth, but in eternity, you will see how they shaped lives, shifted circumstances, and brought light into darkness. Beloved, you are not too old to pray. You are not too weary to reach me. You are not too weak to make a difference. In fact, your prayers now, offered through faith and perseverance, carry a depth that only comes with years of walking with me. They are seasoned with wisdom, softened by humility, strengthened by endurance. So, when weariness weighs you down, do not give up. Lift your heart, however tired, and speak to me. Use your own words. Pour out what is inside. Let your faith be simple. Let your prayer be unpolished. I will never tire of listening. My ear is patient, and my heart is eager. My beloved child, hear me when I say, life is not sustained by bread alone, but by every word I speak. You have lived by many kinds of bread. The bread of routine, the bread of family meals, the bread of small comforts that steady a day. And all these are gifts I delight to give. Yet there is a deeper sustenance, a daily portion that no pantry can hold. The living word I place on your heart each morning. The truth that feeds your spirit and steadies your feet for whatever comes next. Do not be surprised that, in the quiet of later years, the hunger of your soul grows more obvious. You have feasted on many things that satisfied once but faded. Now, you find yourself longing for what endures. This longing is a holy ache. It is my invitation. I am offering you bread that does not spoil, words that do not waste away, promises that remain fresh like morning rain. When you take these words into yourself, not as an obligation, but as nourishment, you will find strength that outlasts fatigue and meaning that outshines regret. My word comes in many forms. Sometimes it arrives as a single verse that fits your day like a key in a lock. Sometimes it is a memory of a promise I whispered years ago and now bring out again with new light. Sometimes it is the soft direction of my spirit as you read an old hymn or listen to a friend. Do not measure the worth of the nourishment by its size. A small phrase, held and chewed over slowly, can become a feast for your spirit. Let it enter quietly. Let it sit with you. Let it change you from the inside out. You may wonder how to receive this bread practically when your days feel small and your energy thin. Begin where you are. If reading long passages is difficult, take one line and sit with it. Chew it, taste it, let it work on your longing. Say it aloud if you can. Say it in a whisper if you cannot speak loudly. Say it with trembling breath if that is all you have. If memory carries a psalm, recite it. If memory falters, read a short passage with a cup of tea and let my words rest on your lap like a warm blessing. The form matters far less than the posture of your heart, expectant, hungry, willing to be fed. There will be days when Scripture unlocks hope and days when it feels like brittle pages. Both kinds of days belong to the journey. On hungry days, you will be nourished immediately. On dry days, keep coming anyway. The seed you plant in these quiet seasons will yield fruit even when you cannot yet see the growth. Trust that my words do a work beyond your understanding. Even when your mind does not grasp everything, my word is working, settling courage in your bones, loosening chains in places you cannot name, breathing patience into the tender places of your heart. I also give you the fellowship of my words through others. A son's text that quotes Scripture at midnight, a neighbor who reads a psalm over the phone, a friend who shares a hymn that suddenly brings tears. These are my hands feeding you. Receive them. Let family and friends be ministering angels who bring bread when you are weak. And if solitude presses in, remember that you are never truly alone. My word is always close enough to reach. There is a practical faithfulness in making space for this bread. Perhaps you will choose a short time each morning to listen for my voice, even 5 minutes beside the window where sunlight finds your hands. Perhaps you will mark a small corner of the room as the place you open my words and offer a simple prayer. Lord, speak to me today. A modest rhythm, kept faithfully, becomes the highway by which my sustenance travels to your heart. Habits born of humility and small devotion yield a steadiness that no storm can take away. Do not fear that you have nothing new to give because you are older. On the contrary, your life has been seasoned by trials and joys that make your testimony rich. My word in you has become wisdom others need. When you speak a remembered promise to a neighbor who trembles, when you bless a grandchild with the line of faith that steadied you, you are passing on the bread you have been given. Legacy is less about grand gestures and more about daily feeding, the patient presence, the remembered phrase, the blessing repeated at the bedside. These are the loaves that feed generations, and when the horizon of your days grows near, know this: my word becomes even truer. It does not fail you at the edge of living. It holds your hand through the doorway. The promises I have spoken, of home, of rest, of eyes that will see and hands that will welcome, are as real as the beating of your heart. Let my words be the last things you taste in the night, and the first things you carry into the morning you shall not know. Let them be the bread in your pocket when you step forward. Beloved, I do not ask you to be a perfect reader, a polished speaker, or a spectacular witness. I ask you to be a receptacle, an open hand, a humble heart, a willing vessel. Take my words, eat them. Let them nourish your courage, mend your regrets, kindle your hope. In doing so, you are not only sustained, you become sustenance for others. You are a lamp that holds light in a darker world, a loaf that feeds weary mouths, a voice that says, I have known this bread, and it has kept me. So come now, break this bread with me each day and let it be enough. Let every word I speak be your staff and your song. Let it steady your walking and brighten your waiting. For as long as breath is in you, my words will be true to you. Fresh manna on the path, warmth in the cold, bread for the remaining journey. I am with you, and I will feed you until we at last sit down together at the table where the bread is endless and the feast never ends. My beloved one, I know how your life feels to you at times, scattered, moments that seem unfinished. Memories that drift in and out like pieces of a puzzle that never quite fit together. You look back and see fragments, a joy here, a sorrow there, an act of kindness, a harsh word spoken, a prayer whispered, a day wasted. You wonder if these broken pieces can ever form something whole. Listen carefully. I am the one who gathers. I do not allow even the smallest moment to be forgotten. Every fragment of your story is in my hands, and I am weaving them together into a tapestry that will one day shine with beauty and purpose. You see a pile of scattered threads. I see the pattern already forming. To you, the events of your life may feel random, disconnected, even contradictory. But to me, nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Even the moments you forgot, I remember. Even the prayers you thought went unanswered, I held close. Even the times you stumbled, I kept them, for they are part of the story of grace I am writing in you. Consider the way sunlight touches a field after a storm. Each droplet of water, each glimmer of light shines in its own place. Alone, one droplet seems small, but together they create a landscape radiant with beauty. So it is with your life. One memory may seem too painful, one season too ordinary, one joy too fleeting, but when I gather them, they become something luminous. Do not despise the small moments, that gentle smile you gave a stranger, that meal you prepared for a neighbor, that prayer you whispered in the middle of the night, unsure if I even heard. I did. I saw. I have gathered every small act of love and every hidden tear. You may not remember them all, but I do, and in eternity they will shine brighter than gold. You may ask, but what about the broken memories, the ones I do not want to carry? Hear me. I do not discard them. I redeem them. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers, forgotten in prison, misunderstood by many. Each moment, taken alone, looked like tragedy. Yet, when gathered, they formed a story of deliverance not only for Joseph, but for his whole family. So too with you. What looks shattered will be shown to hold purpose. I take even betrayal, loss, and sorrow, and I turn them into testimonies of my faithfulness. My child, I want you to trust me with the fragments of your memory. You may not see how they belong together, but I do. Bring me the scattered pieces. Lay them before me in prayer. Say to me, Lord, I do not know what to do with these regrets, these joys, these unfinished chapters, and I will whisper back, give them to me, for I am the weaver. You may find it hard to let go. You may cling to certain memories, turning them over again and again, trying to make sense of them. Or you may bury them deep, afraid to feel their weight. But remember, I do not want you to carry these pieces alone. They are too heavy for your heart, but not too heavy for mine. I can hold both the laughter and the tears, both the victories and the wounds. Think of a quilt made from scraps of old garments. Each piece carries its own history. A dress once worn at a wedding, a shirt worn on a work day, a cloth from a child's blanket. Alone, they may seem ordinary, but when stitched together, they tell a story. Your life is that quilt, and I am the one stitching. I am gathering the scraps of your days, sewing them with threads of mercy until they become a covering of beauty. Even the years that seemed barren, seasons where nothing appeared to grow, are not wasted. Do you remember how winter looks lifeless, yet beneath the soil, roots are deepening, preparing for spring? In the same way, the seasons of silence in your life were not void. I was strengthening your roots, preparing you for fruit you could not yet see. I want you to rest in this truth. Nothing is forgotten. Not by me. Even the people you loved who are no longer here. The moments you shared with them are not erased. I hold them in eternity. I preserve them in a way that you cannot yet imagine. You will see them again, and every scattered moment of love will be restored and magnified in my presence. Do not think your life is a collection of wasted fragments. It is a sacred story being gathered in my hands. One day, when you stand with me, you will see it all at once, every tear, every joy, every step. And you will say, Lord, you did all things well. Until then, trust that I am weaving, even when you do not see the pattern. For now, I invite you to shift how you look at your days. Instead of seeing only fragments, begin to see them as treasures I am collecting. When a memory of regret arises, hand it to me and say, redeem this. When a memory of joy surfaces, give thanks and say, thank you for this gift. In doing so, you are joining me in the gathering, letting your heart rest instead of striving to make sense of it all. My beloved, I have never left you scattered. I have always been near, picking up the pieces as you dropped them, holding them safe until the time was right to reveal their beauty. And hear me, that time is not far off. Even now, you can glimpse the edges of the tapestry. Even now, you can see how I have brought you through valleys and lifted you to higher ground. So walk in peace. Trust that every fragment of your life is accounted for. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. I am the God who gathers, the one who remembers, the one who weaves, and I am shaping your days into something whole, something eternal, something filled with glory. Rest in my promise, beloved child. I am gathering all the scattered moments, and I am making them beautiful. My beloved child, I see you walking more slowly now. The pace of life has shifted. The days may feel quieter than they once did, and sometimes the silence presses against you, whispering questions. What is left for me? Do I still matter? Hear me now. You matter more than you know. Your quiet journey is not an afterthought. It is a sacred path, and I am walking each step with you. You may think the most important years are behind you. The years of raising children, working hard, building, striving. But I tell you, these years carry their own holy purpose. The noise of younger days may have faded, but in the stillness, my voice can be heard more clearly. The limits of age do not signal the end of usefulness. They create space for deeper fellowship with me. Where strength fails, my strength shines brighter. Where independence wanes, my presence grows stronger. I do not measure your value by activity, by what you can accomplish with your hands or prove to others. I measure by faith, by love, by the trust that flows between us. A whispered prayer in your chair, a simple blessing spoken over a child or grandchild, a word of encouragement to a weary friend. These quiet acts carry eternal weight. Do not underestimate them. What feels small in your eyes shakes heaven in mine. Think of a lamp in the night. It does not light an entire city. It only casts its glow upon a small circle. Yet within that circle, darkness flees. Your life now is like that lamp. You may not run across the world or carry great burdens, but the light you hold brings warmth to those nearby. Your presence, your prayers, your faithfulness are a steady flame that guides others. Yes, your body may grow frail, but your spirit is not diminished. In fact, your spirit has been strengthened by years of walking with me through storms and valleys. Every wrinkle holds testimony. Every scar is a reminder that I carried you through what once seemed unbearable. These marks are not signs of weakness. They are badges of endurance, proof that you have lived under the shelter of my hand. Do not be discouraged when you cannot do all that you once did. This season is not a punishment, it is an invitation. I am inviting you to rest more deeply in me, to lean on my presence, to discover joy not in striving, but in abiding. You are not meant to run forever. You are meant to finish well, with peace and trust. Look to the shepherd who walks with his flock. The lambs run ahead, the strong stride forward, but the shepherd always stays near the ones who walk slowly. He does not leave them behind. He adjusts his pace to theirs. Beloved, that is how I walk with you now. When your steps falter, I steady you. When you grow weary, I carry you. You are not falling behind. You are walking at my pace. Let this quiet journey be filled with simple delights. Notice the song of a bird outside your window, the warmth of sunlight across your face, the laughter of those you love. These small joys are my gifts to you, reminders that I am near. Do not hurry past them. Let them anchor you in gratitude, for in thanksgiving your spirit grows light and free. And when loneliness comes, as it sometimes does in the stillness, call upon me. Speak my name aloud if you must. You are never truly alone. I am closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. When you sit in silence, I am the presence beside you. When you sleep, I keep watch. When you awaken in the night, uncertain and restless, I am already there, whispering peace. I know you think of those who have gone before you. Their absence aches like a missing limb. You wonder how much longer until you see them again. Take comfort. They are safe with me. And one day, sooner than you imagine, you will be reunited. Until then, let the memory of their love strengthen you. Love is never wasted. It does not die. It is gathered into eternity, preserved in my keeping. Let your quiet journey also be a season of blessing others. Speak words of encouragement to the young. They need your wisdom more than they admit. Share stories of my faithfulness. They will carry those stories long after you are gone. Pray for those who wander. Your prayers move mountains in ways you may never see on this side of heaven. Do not think your life is small. Your quiet influence ripples further than you know. Remember the candle I spoke of, how it lights only a small circle. When you pass from this world into my eternal light, you will see how far that glow stretched. You will be amazed at how many lives were touched by the simple flame of your faith. So walk with confidence, not despair. These years are precious to me. They are the crown of your journey. I am not done with you. I am deepening you. Each day you rise, know that I have appointed purpose for you, whether in prayer, in kindness, in presence, or simply in resting in my love. My beloved child, you are not fading away. You are ripening. You are drawing nearer to the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The journey may feel quieter, but it is not empty. It is filled with my presence, and I will never leave you. Take my hand and walk gently now. Let my light guide your steps. Rest when you need to rest. Speak when I nudge you to speak. Love as freely as I have loved you. For I am your companion in this season, and I will carry you safely until the very end and beyond. My beloved child, now you stand at the edge of a mystery. You have walked through years of joy and sorrow, of mistakes and miracles, of laughter and tears. You have felt regret, but you have also tasted my mercy. You have seen how I redeem lost days and gather scattered moments. And now, hear me. I am weaving all of this into a restoration that is whole, not partial, not fragile, but complete, lasting, and eternal. You see only strands, but I see the finished design. Every season of your life has been a thread, some bright, some dark, some rough, some soft. Alone, they do not seem to match. Yet when woven together by my hand, they reveal beauty beyond what you can imagine. I do not waste a single thread. Even what you thought torn or useless has been stitched into a story of redemption. Do not fear that your life has been too broken to be made whole. Wholeness is not about returning to what once was. It is about becoming more than you ever thought possible. I do not simply restore what was lost. I transform it. Like a tree struck by lightning that grows again, stronger and wider, your scars are part of the glory. They do not diminish you. They magnify my grace. Think of the relationships you have carried in your heart, the ones that brought joy, the ones that caused pain. Perhaps some remain unreconciled. Perhaps words were left unspoken. Forgiveness left unoffered. My child, trust me with these. Restoration does not always mean everything will be fixed as you imagine. Sometimes it means I will bring healing in ways unseen. Sometimes it means forgiveness will flow like a river within you, even if the other person is gone. Nothing is beyond my reach. Not even death can silence the power of reconciliation when it is rooted in me. I ask you now to open your heart and release the grudges that linger. Let go of the heavy stones of bitterness, for they only weigh you down. Place them in my hands, and I will exchange them for peace. Do not wait for others to change before you forgive. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself as much as to others. It is the key that unlocks freedom for your soul. As you forgive, you step into the wholeness I have promised. Restoration also means legacy. What do you leave behind as the story of your life? Not your possessions, not your accomplishments, but your faith, your love, your trust in me. These are the treasures that remain. Your children, grandchildren, friends, and even those you scarcely know are touched by the spirit you carry. When you speak blessing, you plant seeds of hope. When you live with peace, you show others that I am faithful. Your quiet testimony will echo far beyond your years. Do not think you have nothing left to give. The later chapters of your journey are some of the richest, for they carry the weight of experience and the depth of wisdom. Speak your story. Tell of how I lifted you when you thought you would fall. Share the lessons you learned in both failure and triumph. Each word you offer may be the very lifeline someone else needs. My beloved, do you see how I am restoring you? Not only within, but outwardly through the way your life blesses others. Restoration is not merely about healing wounds. It is about revealing glory. Your story is not just about survival. It is about transformation, about showing the world what my love can do in a human heart. And yet, This restoration does not end with this life. The tapestry I am weaving does not stop at the edge of death. No, death is not the end but the doorway. Beyond it lies the fullness of restoration. Bodies made whole, tears wiped away, every question answered in my presence. Those you miss will be there, not in shadow, but in joy. What was broken will be mended. What was lost will be returned, brighter and more beautiful than before. So do not fear the days ahead. Whether they are many or few, each one carries purpose. Walk them with peace, knowing that the story I am writing in you is complete. You do not have to finish everything. I am the author and finisher. You need only to remain faithful, trusting that I am weaving all things into wholeness. Look back now with different eyes. Where you once saw fragments, see threads of my mercy. Where you once saw failure, see the places I carried you. Where you once saw emptiness, see the space I filled with my presence. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been lost. All is being restored in me. And look ahead with hope. The best is not behind you. It is before you. The banquet table is set, the feast prepared, the place reserved with your name upon it. When your journey here is done, I will welcome you home with joy. You will see the tapestry of your life unveiled, and you will marvel at how every moment, every thread, was part of my design. Until that day, rest in my promise. I am making you whole. Your story is not broken. It is blessed. Your life is not forgotten. It is cherished. And your future is not uncertain. It is secure in me. So walk in peace, my beloved child. Release what is past, embrace what is present, and trust what is to come. I am the God who restores, the one who redeems, the weaver of wholeness. And I have never stopped working on you. I began a good work in you, and I will finish it. Not halfway, not in part, but in fullness, in beauty, in glory. For you are mine, forever restored, forever whole.